Hi there, this is Ed Herzog from edherzog.com, and today I want to show you JetTricks by Crocoblock. JetTricks is a plugin that you can use with Elementor, either the free version of Elementor or the pro version of Elementor. JetTricks works with either one, but you do need to be using Elementor in order for JetTricks to work on your website. Now, with JetTricks, you get access to 8 different features that you can use to kind of spice up your website. So those 8 features are image tooltips, HotSpot widget, sticky column, section particles, read more widget, unfold text widget, satellite, and I can never pronounce this properly, parallax scrolling effect. So those are the 8 features that you get with JetTricks. So what I'm going to do in this video, first I'm going to give you a broad overview of those 8 features. I will then very briefly, very quickly show you the pricing options for buying JetTricks. And then finally, I'll take you through a more detailed tutorial for each of the 8 features. So switch over to my desktop and I will start taking you through and showing you what you can do with JetTricks. So here I am on the JetTricks website, and you can see again these 8 features that I've already mentioned. Now, one of the things I want to clarify before I get into the overview of each of these 8 features is that right here it says JetTricks widgets, but not all of these are individual widgets. Some of them are integrated into existing widgets. So for example, here you see HotSpot widget for Elementor right here. That one is an individual widget. But sticky column is not an individual widget. It's integrated into the column feature that already exists in Elementor. So I just want to give you that quick clarification before I gave you an overview of each of these 8 features that you get with JetTricks. So we'll start here with Tooltip. So we've got some things here from the Avengers. As I hover over them, you see you get this pop-up with the image and some text. Scroll down here for some more examples. Again, as you see the hovering occurring, you get a pop-up. So there's some examples of what you can do with tooltips. Here with hotspots, got this futuristic looking car with these plus signs, and as I hover over them, you get text that pops up. Here are some more examples. So that gives you an idea of what you can do with hotspots. Sticky columns. Now, what you're going to see first here is pretty advanced. I wouldn't have a clue how to set this up. You're going to see this rocket. Here's the top of it, but it's going to merge with the rest of the rocket as I scroll down. So pretty cool effect, but you can do more traditional sticky columns as well. So here you see this, this one here is sticking as the person scrolls. Actually, this one here is sticking, and this one is moving as the person scrolls. Or here you've got the pricing table that sticks while the person scrolls down the page. Here we get into section particles. I've scrolled down. This one is easier to see here because they're much bigger. Some of the other examples I have are small little dots, so you may not be able to see them very well, but here you can see these shapes moving around. So those are the section particles. Then we get into read more. Oops, scroll back up here. And so you can see right now we have not a lot on this page, right? It says read more, and it goes right into the pricing table. But if I click on read more, you see this new section opens up. I can click on another read more, and another section will open up. So that's what you can do with read more. Unfold text, which is somewhat similar. Click on that, and you get this text that unfolds. You can do it on a button, showing a code, etc. So you've got some interesting options you can use for this unfold text. The satellite is, it says here, appoint a satellite element to any widget and showcase it either as an image or text that's layered below to embellish your page's layout. So all the examples they have here are using text. So again, I don't know how clear this comes through on my screen, but it says here advanced heading. It's very light text, and then you've got this subheading here that is on top of it. Same thing here, it says right align right here, and then subheading here is above it. Now here you've got this text here. Again, I'm not sure how well this is coming through on what you're seeing, but it says rotate right here. And then you've got those the regular looking text right there. This here is actually going diagonally, rotate 30 degrees, and then you've got these other kind of normal text right there. So those are some examples of what you can do with satellite. And then you've got the classic, again, I've never heard anybody else pronounce this, so I don't know how it's pronounced, but the parallax scrolling effect. So scroll down, this is a pretty classic one. So that is it. So let's take a look, as I said, now at the pricing. So again, you get all 8 features. For a single site, it's $19 a year. For unlimited websites, it's $39 a year. Or for, if you want to buy it with other CrocoBlock plugins for Elementor, the sets start at $80 a year, and that gives you access to a variety of different CrocoBlock plugins. And by the way, I will put my affiliate link in the description of the video below, so just so you know, if you do want to buy JetTricks, I do appreciate it if you buy via my affiliate link. So let me now give you a more detailed tutorial of what you can do with these 8 different features from JetTricks. So let's start by taking a look at the Tooltips feature of JetTricks. So I've got a demo website here, and I have this image right here. This is just a regular Elementor widget image. There's absolutely nothing special at all about this particular widget. You see here then under the Advanced tab of the image, I have this option called JetTricks. So I can click on that, and it opens up, and I have 3 options. Now the last option here is Tooltip. So I can click here to use the tooltip. Now I've already started to play around with this. I have this labeled as my summer house. Obviously it's not. I wish. Actually, I don't think I'd really want to live in a place that big, but anyway, that's just what I decided to put on there. So come down here, and I can change the description. Again, I already put my summer house. That's what I decided to go with. I've got 4 options for placement. I have top, bottom, left, or right. But then what you can do, because if I put top and don't put an offset on it, you'll see it goes right up here at the top. But by putting this offset, I put -200 in, it brings it down there. And I can do an offset X, offset Y. Also have a Z index. So, you'll need to play around with those a little bit to place the tooltip where you want it to be within the image. So again, you've got top, bottom, right, left for your placement. Then you have different animations. So you have shift away, shift toward, fade, scale, and perspective. So let's just go with perspective. Then you can come over here and style the tooltip. So first of all, you can make it wider. Let's just go with 100 pixels. And I can change the text color. I'm just going to leave that as white for right now. Oh, actually, sorry. Let's go to typography first, because I can again do pretty much anything that I could do with any typography within Elementor. I have all those options. What I want to do here is make that bigger. So let's go with a 16 pixel font. That looks a lot better. Again, I could change the text color, but I don't want to do that. I can change the text alignment. So make it right justified, left justified, or center it. I can change the background type. So let's open this up. So I could do color. I can do an image. Okay, so those are 2 options, color or image. Let's change this to a different color. Let's go with that blue right there. And I can also change the color of the arrow. So there's a little arrow down there. You may not be able to see it because it's kind of overlapping with the window there, but I can change that as well. Make that the same color. So you might have been able to see that changed as I clicked on that color. I can give it padding. I can give it borders, etc. So that's basically what I can do with a tooltip. Now, of course, you only get 1 tooltip per image. So, if you want to do more, you can actually combine hotspots with tooltips in order to, kind of create something that's a bit more involved. But just load this up and show you. So, right now it doesn't show up, but when I hover over the image right there, it pops up the tooltip. But, again, most people aren't going to click on, aren't going to hover over something like this, so you might want to think about where you want to put your tooltips and what you might want to have that might guide people to actually hover over it. One of the examples that I showed you on the on the JetTricks website, there's a question mark. There's a question mark image, and then if somebody hovered over that, you got more information. So that might be a good way to use a tooltip. Of course, you can use it this way here. It's just not necessarily obvious that you'll get more information by hovering over it. But anyways, you get one tooltip per image. But if you also use hotspots, then you can do things that are a bit more complex. So let's take a look now at hotspots. So now let's take a look at the hotspot. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the hotspot is an actual widget. So I'll come up here and I will type in hotspot and I'll drag this in here. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to add an image. So I'm going to go ahead and add that same image that we're already using. Come down here and click on that and insert. And so now I've got that image right here. And you see I already have one hotspot right there. Of course, I can continue to add more hotspots if I want. So I'll come down here and first of all, I can change the label. It just says item number 1. I can put whatever I want there. And I can add additional ones. There's no limit to the number of hotspots that I can put on this image. So I can just keep adding and keep getting more of these on the image. So let's click here then. So first of all, I can change the icon. This comes, the default is a plus sign, but with Elementor, you've got access to a lot of different icons, so I can change that. Secondly, I can add a description. Now, the description will be your tooltip. So let's go again. We'll just call this my summer house. And now you can see you have that tooltip that pops up right there. Of course, this can all be edited, as I will show you. And then you can add a link. So if you want this to go somewhere when somebody clicks on it, you can indeed add links. And as I said, you can just keep adding more and more tooltips. Then let's come up over here and go to position. And now I can change the position. And instead of having to play with things like the z-index, the y-score, the x-score, here I have the horizontal position percentage and the vertical position percentage. So I can move these, just drag that over there, and you'll see that horizontally it will move over there. And I can move this vertically. And it's now right up there. So again, I can play around with these and move them where I want. For me, this is a little easier to use than what we saw with the tooltip. Let's move this back over here so it's more centered. Oops, and move this back over here. Okay. Then I also have this option here for, you can see here that is pulsing. That is one animation. I can turn it off. I can do flash, pulse, shake, tada, rubber, or swing. So those are the animation options right there. Then I can come down here and edit the tooltip. So first of all, I can turn on whether it shows up when somebody initially loads the page or not. So you've got that. You can toggle that on or off. I can then change the placement of the tooltip. So here you can see it's on the top, but I can change it bottom, left, or right. Let's move to the left. So now it's over on this side. Here I can use the arrow or not use it. You may not be able to see it very well, but again, there's a little arrow there on the right-hand side. I can turn that on or off. So if I turn that off, now it's a square block. Let's go ahead and turn that back on, because then I can, you've got options here. You can make the arrow sharp or round. I can make it bigger. So let's make it a wide arrow. Maybe it'll show up a little better. Maybe not so much, but it is there. Then I can change the trigger. So the trigger can be either mouse enter, click, or none. I have options for show duration, hide duration, delay. Distance is the distance between the plus sign there and the tooltip. So, I can make that bigger. Not sure I'd want to make it quite that big, but you see that is now way over there. And you have the same animations that we saw for the tooltip before: shift away, shift toward, fade, scale, and perspective. Then I can come over here to style, and I can first style this hotspot. So if for some reason I'm not sure what I would do exactly with typography for that, since these are icons, but in theory you can do that. But you can make the icon bigger or smaller as you want. You can change the color of the icon. Again, change the text color. Change the background color. You've got padding, border types, border radius, box shadow, and you've also have options for when somebody hovers. So those are the options for styling the icon. Then I can style the tooltip. Again, similar to what we already saw in the tooltip, so I can change the text color, change typography. Again, let's make that bigger so it shows up better. Make that a 16. So now it shows up a lot better. I can change the text alignment, change the arrow color. And again, I've got options for wrapper styles, background type. So again, if I wanted the background, instead of being a color, I could change it to an image. I have that option again here. Padding, border type, border radius, and box shadow. And then you've got advanced options here for margin, padding, z-index, CSS, etc. And then you've got some of these other, again, everything you normally see in Elementor under the Advanced tab. But that is basically what you can do with hotspots. Again, it's a bit more advanced than the tooltip, but there are, I think there are definitely use cases for the tooltip. Sometimes you do just need one of these things, and you don't necessarily want an icon, you just want something to show up when somebody hovers over an image. So you do have those two different options for kind of setting up this sort of hover effect on your images. So let's go on to the next one, which I believe is the sticky column. Okay, so sticky columns. Now the thing with sticky columns is that the column can only stick within its own section. So it can't kind of stick and then you've got another section here and it keeps sticking into the next section. That doesn't work, right? So it's got to stick within its own section. So this is very simple. So I come here, I've got this section here with this text and button here and then several images and a video at the bottom, and I want this column here to stick. So I click on that, it says add a column. I come over to advanced, I come down here to JetTricks, and I turn sticky column on. Then I've got options. I can do some spacing at the top or the bottom, and then I can also change sticky on desktop, tablet, and then I could add mobile if I wanted. Sticky doesn't tend to work very well on mobile for obvious reasons, because you're normally just stacked top to bottom. You don't normally have columns on mobile, so I would normally suggest turning it off on mobile and perhaps tablet, depending on exactly how your layout is. That may not work either. So anyway, we'll just go ahead and update that and come here, and you're going to see this column here will now stick. Like that. But now as it enters this this next section right here, the one that says perfect surrounding, you'll see this one will stop sticking because again it can't stick onto the next section. So that is sticky column, very easy to set up. I actually have a tutorial demo on, it's actually by far my most popular video on how to do sticky column within Elementor, within Elementor Pro. And you can do it, but I have to say this is much easier and much more user-friendly than the way you have to set it up using Elementor Pro. So this, I think, if you want to use sticky columns, they've done a really nice job here within, JetTricks by CrocoBlock for doing sticky columns. So section particles. So here I am on this section right here, and I'm on my section settings under Advanced, and under JetTricks, I've enabled particles. So I'll turn that on, and then I need to click here on this link. And it's going to take me to an external website by Vincent Garreau, I guess is how you say that. And now I've got these particles here, and I can play around with these. So first of all, I have different types of particles. So I've got this thing here that says NASA. This here says bubble, snow, and then Nyan cat. So those are the options. But then you can play around with these. So let's go back to snow and come to particles, and see you've got a lot of different settings here. This Vincent Garreau put on this website for generating section particles. So there's the value, density value, change the color, change the shape. I've got stroke, polygon, image. It's got different options there. Close these up here for a second. What else? I've got size. So I can make these bigger, change the opacity. So you can play around with these to create the sort of particles that you want. Then you'll come down here. Let me actually close up a few more of these so we can see that better. So right there, actually, let me close that one too. Right there says download current coding JSON. So you'll need to download that. You'll then open that in a text editor, copy it, and drop it in right here where it says particles JSON, and that's it. That's how you create section particles using JetTricks. Okay, now let's take a look at the Read More widget. Now this is actually more than just a Read More widget because you can actually use it to hide and then reveal any sort of element within Elementor. It doesn't have to be text. It can be videos, it can be photos, it could be an accordion, etc. Whatever you want to hide, you can connect it to the Read More widget. And the documentation for this talks about using it to hide sections. It can actually be used for sections, for columns, or for individual widgets. So you do have a lot of flexibility in terms of how you set this up. So let's come here and I'm going to bring this here. I've got an empty section right there. I'm going to just drop that right in there. That's a Read More widget. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to set it up to hide this section here, the section that I was playing with earlier. And so what I want to do is I'm going to come to this section here, go to the Advanced tab, come down to CSS ID, and I'm going to give it a name. I'll just call it Hidden. Then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to click here where it says Section 1. And then there's Section ID, I'm going to type in that same word, Hidden. What you're going to see is you see this now gets grayed out. That means you've set this up properly. So you can see which things are going to be hidden when, when the page is loaded and before somebody clicks on this Read More button. Now let's take a look at some settings here. First of all, you've got options for styling the Read More button. So you've got paddings, margins. You can change the icon position before or after the label, horizontal or vertical. You've got icon gap. You've got options, for icon color, icon size, text color, typography, background type, border radius, box shadow, and then also hover options for setting up how this here looks. Then come back over up here and click back on content. And I also have settings for this here. So I can change the icon. If I want to do that, I can change a label. I can change that to show more. Now, I've got an option to show all sections or not. So if you're using this to hide multiple things, it could be multiple widgets, multiple sections, again, however you have it set up, you can either have it set up so everything gets revealed on one button click, or if you have it turned off, they'll have to continue to click on this button to reveal more and more things. And then you've got different effects. You can either no effects, fade, zoom in, zoom out, move up, or a fall perspective. So those are the options for setting this up. Now, if you are revealing or hiding and then revealing multiple sections, you'll add additional items, and then you'll obviously put a different ID for again if it's, let's say I've already got this section hidden. If I have a second section that I want hidden by this same button, I'll give that other section a different ID number and then put that ID number right up here. So let's get rid of that and go ahead and update this and go ahead and preview changes. And you see that section is not there. I click on that and boom, right there it is. And the Read More button disappears once I click on it. So that's using it for a whole section. Now, again, if I wanted to use it for example, a column, let me just come back over here, get this taken out of there. And now I want to come over here to this column and come over here to this column. And I'm going to call this hidden and go ahead and update it. It's not actually, the gray did not change here. I think I need to reload the page. It doesn't reload automatically in terms of what gets grayed, grayed in or grayed out when you change what the read more button is affecting. But what we should have now is we've got this column here, but this column here is not visible. And I click on that and it becomes visible. I can, as I said, also do it for individual widgets. So come over here and get that off of there and come over here. I'm actually going to show you here. I can even drop this down within the same column, and then we'll bring this here and click on that, and again put hidden, update, and now this pillow should not be visible. Okay, so this is now visible again because I untied this from the read more button, but the pillow, as I said, is not visible. I click on that and it now becomes visible. And again, I can do this with multiple items within the same column if I want. As I mentioned, I could come over here, add item, and call this hidden 2. And then come over here to this and call this hidden 2. So now this, my summer house, and this pillow here should be hidden. Let's go ahead and update them, or update that. And you see they're both hidden. There's no photo of the pillow, nor is there a photo of the large house. And so I click on that, there comes a pillow. Now I have, in this case, I don't have it set to reveal all. So I click on that again, and now that comes and the button disappears. So that's what you can do. There are a lot of different things you can do. I like this. There's a lot of flexibility in terms of what you want to hide, how you want to hide it, how you want to set this up. Again, you can do sections, columns, or individual widgets, and you can do multiple different things at the same time. So this is a really nice nice widget in terms of they call it read more, but I think it's more kind of a reveal widget or an unfold widget that you can use to, if you've got a lot of information, sometimes you don't necessarily want to show it all on your website, and it's easier if people click on things and then reveal additional information. So that is the read more widget. So now let's take a look at the unfold widget. Now, first of all, you may be wondering, what's the difference between the read more widget and the unfold widget? Well, there are three main differences. First one is that the read more widget can control or hide more than one section, or more than one widget, or more than one column. The unfold widget cannot do that. It's only one kind of section or item at a time. Secondly is that the read more widget, once you open it, it's open. You can't close it again. With the unfold, your website visitors can open and close it at will. However many times they want to open it and close it, they can do that. Then finally, the read more widget, you can control content that is external to the widget itself. In fact, that's the way it's designed to do. Whereas with the unfold widget, it's opening and closing content that you put within the unfold widget itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we'll come here and drop this into this empty section. Oops, try that again. There we go. So you can see right here, this text is part of the unfold widget. This button is part of it, and you can open and close it just like that. So what are some of the settings here? So first of all, you can toggle this on or off. It will control whether or not it is open when the person enters the screen or not. So you can either have it closed or open when they enter the screen. Here you can change the close height, the separator height. You then have styles for both unfold and fold. So you've got duration and then easing, linear, sine, expo, etc. So you've got a lot of different options for that. And the same things there under fold. Then for the content. Okay, this is important. So you see here you have this text, and you can, it's your basic text editor. You can put in maybe some videos or some images, but there's not a lot you can do here. Of course you can style the text, but not a lot of options in terms of this right here. But if you click this right here, it says template, you can create a template and then assign the template to this unfold widget, and then you can open and close that particular template that you've selected here. So I've got some pricing tables here, so let's go ahead and just grab one of those, and boom, there it is. So I clicked on show, and there is the pricing table. So even though it looks like it's somewhat limited, it's not. Again, you could design a template with a lot of different things in it, and then when the person clicks show, it'll show. I mean, you could probably put an entire section here. Here I've just got the one widget, the pricing table, but if you wanted to put in a variety of different widgets into a template and then select the template here, you could do that. So you've got a lot of styling options here. You're not limited to just this text editor here. So that's important to know. Come down here, and then you've got styling options for the button. Again, you can change the alignment. You've got options for both the fold and unfold. So you can change the icon, but this is a pretty good one, I think, in general, the up and down arrow, but there might be a different up or down arrow that you want to use. You can change the text. Same thing here. Again, you can change the icon, change the text. And of course, if you come over here to style, you've got options for the background, for the border type, box shadow, wrapper styles. Same thing for the separator, for the content, and then for the button. So you've got a lot of different options here for editing that. So that is basically what you can do with the unfold, is that, again, the difference between this and the read more is that everything is more internal with this. It's not, or I shouldn't say, it is internal, whereas the read more is for controlling external things. With this, you're putting it inside. You can open and close it, but it's just the one thing that you can open and close. Whereas with the read more, you can set it up to control multiple items, multiple sections, multiple widgets, etc. So that is the unfold widget. So let's take a look at satellite. Now, from playing around with this, it looks like you can add a quote-unquote satellite to any widget. That's at least what it looks like from my playing around with it. But, probably a lot of widgets you wouldn't really use this for. But let's take a look at a header widget and an image widget. And what you can add with a satellite, you can add either text, an icon, or an image. Okay, so those are the things that you can add via the satellite option. So let's take this header right here, click on that, and come to advanced, and under JetTricks you have satellite. So we can click on use satellite, and so I've got the three options, as I said, text, icon, or image. Let's just stay with text for the moment, and it says enjoy some you time. We'll just put in the sun. And then you have options for position, top left, top center, etc., top right. We'd probably want this maybe on the bottom right, something like that. And then you can play around. You've got offsets for the X and Y. You can rotate it if you want to do that. You also have a Z index. And then you can come over here to styles, and you've got options for color, typography, text shadow, and then CSS filters. So let's go ahead and update this and reload this. Okay, so you're gonna have to play around with this a bit, right? I mean, this doesn't really, I guess it looks okay. You'd probably actually want the main heading to be a bit bolder, and this to me not quite so bold, but it gives you an idea of what you could do with this. You also probably wouldn't want to have this image here. You might want to have this blank, but again, you'll need to play around with it a bit if this is a feature that you want to use. And again, you can do this. That was using it with text. You can do, coming back over here, You can do icon. So go ahead and save that. Reload this page. And now you have this plus icon here. Again, you can change the icon, change the size, color, etc. You can do an image. Let's see here. Image. Just go with that image there. And go ahead and insert it. Update it. It's actually not a great image to use because it already has text on it, but just to show you what you can do with this. Okay, so that ends up cutting that off a bit there. So again, probably not the best option, not the way you'd really want to use it, but I'm just kind of showing you what you can do with it. And then, obviously you'd want to play around with it and set up the way you want. You could do something here as well. For example, click on that, come over here, and we could put a label on this. Call this pillow. And we'll put this dead in the center, middle center, update. Reload. And right there, again, you'd want to change the color of that text because it doesn't really look very good. But, that's what you can do with the satellite option via JetTricks. You can add text, images, or icons within a widget that you already have, and kind of move the position of it, and kind of overlap things, and set it up however to look the way you want it to look. So last but not least, let's take a look at the Parallax option within JetTricks, or however you say that word. So I have here two photos within a section, so one photo in one column, one photo in another column, and I'm going to come here first to this image, and under Image Advanced, I can open up JetTricks and then come here and toggle this on. So I turn on Parallax. I can change the speed here. I can also invert it. What that means is if I have Parallax turned on both of these images and I turn on invert on one of them, they will then move in different directions, which I'll show you in a second. Then I can also turn this on or off for desktop, tablet, or mobile. So let's just do it first for this image here. Go ahead and update it. Update this. And you can see the movement on that image right there. Now let's come over here to this image, turn it on here. And now I'm going to turn on invert on this one here. Go ahead and update it. Refresh the page. You can already see those were moving in opposite directions, right? So I'm going to come down here, and now you've got it on both of them, and they're moving in opposite directions. If I turn the invert off, or if I turn it on for both of them, then they won't move in opposite directions. I need to have it on for just one of them, and then you'll get this effect of moving in opposite directions. So those are the 8 different features that you get with JetTricks. So again, if you want to spice up your Elementor website pages, JetTricks is a great way to do it. You don't have to use all of these, obviously. There are 8 different features. You can pick and choose the ones that you want to use. Let me switch over again and show you the pricing on JetTricks just as a final reminder. So again, for a single site, it's $19 a year. For unlimited websites, it's $39 a year. And then if you buy it within a plugin set, it's $80 per year. If I remember correctly, the plugin sets, you generally get about 15 different plugins, and there are 3 different options for sets that you can buy with the Jet plugin option. So again, I will put my affiliate link in the video description below. If you choose to buy JetTricks or even any other Crockablock plugins, I've been trying to review a lot of these. I do appreciate it if you buy via my affiliate link. It gives me a little bit of money. It allows me to continue to create 100% free content. Subscribe to my channel and also hit that notification bell. I will be doing, my goal this year, for the rest of this year, is 3 videos a day. I'm going to aim for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And was there anything else? I think that may be it. Oh, if you have any questions, right? If you've got questions, let me know. My time frame is within 24 hours. I will respond to your question. So often it'll be quicker, but it depends on when I get the notification from YouTube. They don't always give me a notification, but I do check every single morning to see if I have any comments. And if I do, that is always a priority for myself, is responding to those comments. So that's it. I hope you found this video useful and hope to see you on the next video. Bye.